products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free. I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free. I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free. I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so
All right, live from Studio 6B, 8 p.m. on the East Coast on a Thursday night, February 13th. Real America's Voice and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio. Glad you're in, everybody. Rick Delgado's got the news. Slick Rick's going to be here. He's going to do some sports. Vinnie Mac in the house tonight. He's got some news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Mr. Delgado, how are you?
I am good.
How was your day?
My day was actually not stressful.
That's a change.
I have nothing to report other than, liberals on Facebook that I really wanted to engage with, and I actually stopped myself.
Did you write Vin? Did you text Vin for advice on how to do that?
No, because I'm usually pretty good at myself.
Yes, you've actually, you and Vin are.
Compare some notes.
Yeah, we did.
A crazy week.
God, I mean, the two of you.
Well, because I include footnotes. Like, I'll include quotes and footnotes.
Oh, sure.
And I'll smash these people in the head because they're so stupid. So we have to tell them and remind them that, look, here's the proof that you're an idiot. So I make sure I provide that.
You have a bibliography in there at the end of your posts on Facebook.
Right.
Vin, how are you?
Very effective.
How are you? Well, yes, how are you?
How am I?
The questions get harder as we go along.
Oh, my God. I was canceled.
Welcome to the party, pal.
I was canceled by a group of people that I know very well. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Canceled.
Your family? What are you going to do for Thanksgiving this year?
I can't go home for dinner tonight. I don't know what the hell's going on.
By who?
Yeah, a group of my close friends in California, the LA tribe.
Well, there you go.
Their hair's been on fire since January 20th. Okay,
California.
Not the only thing on fire.
Yeah, they think I am absolutely out of my mind. So it's quite entertaining.
Well,
there's some
maybe
truth to
agree
that.
with them there.
So what was it that finally pushed them over the edge?
What was it? What was the bridge too far for them?
Right, because I feel like I haven't known you that long, but I feel like I know you well enough that you just didn't turn out like this.
What do you mean? How they turned on me, or just in general?
Like what was the final straw that made them turn on?
What was it? What did you say?
I got into a fairly heated one with someone that we mutually knew, and one of his friends sent the F-bomb across on me. And he doesn't realize I box 3 days a week, does he? Yes. And that caused a bit of turbulence, let's just put it that way. Yeah. And then shortly after that, I got a cancellation call.
A call?
Really? Yes. I'm going to go into this in a little detail in the show, which I thought would be very entertaining.
Okay, very good. A little teaser, as we call
a little teaser.
So they actually called you
and said you're out of the group.
You're out of the group.
They called me. It was a 900 number, though. It cost me $1.25 a minute. So it was expensive.
My God.
They did. They called me to cancel me. So
Vin's just out of control on social media. So who the hell knows where the truth's going to lie with this story? Really. By the way, did you notice he's starting to do it even on our 6B?
What?
Did you see today?
No.
Everybody text a little line about something, this, that, the whatever, JFK or whatever. Chelsea, did you see Vin's?
No.
That's starting to push towards like a paragraph. He didn't just say, okay, we're getting Facebook Vin into the LFS6B internal chat.
Yeah, if you're going to say, I don't have a bibliography, however.
That's true.
But, I put out what I think.
He does get quite wordy.
I told you I used to go on I told you I used to go on Facebook and I would scroll down, and anytime I saw Vincent Buda commented, I said, "Oh, here we go. What is this and who is this?" And then I'd open up the comments, and then Vin would write. It would show like 2 lines, and then it would say "See more."
Yeah, see more.
And I would click "See more," and War and Peace opened up on Facebook.
About 10 chapters, I believe.
How could you write this much to somebody, I'd say?
You know what? I'm right there with them. That's how I end up, which is why I stop myself from engaging sometimes, because I can't sit on the toilet for that long to write all this stuff out.
Oh, I'm doing it like driving on the highway. I'm going through Dunkin' Donuts drive-through, typing away while I'm going. It's crazy. Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Thank you.
All right, very good. So Vinnie Mac will expand on that story. Delgado's going to have some news. Slick Rick's going to have some sports.
Did you record the call?
Yeah, did you record the call?
I didn't record the call, no.
Damn.
Would have been good.
So Vin wasn't here yesterday, and I know the audience is going to just hate this because they had to endure it yesterday, but I have to give Vin a chance to to see a little, just a smidge. Well, nothing close to playing the whole thing of the Crazy Towns from yesterday because Vin wasn't here. So Vin, this is the first one. I don't know if you've picked up on this, but the resistance is getting strong against the president and Elon Musk. And I came on last night saying I think they really have to rethink now their strategy because the resistance is getting very focused on how they're going to push back. They're coming up with some very good ideas, really strong ideas. This was one of them. Roll it, Aaron. Just a little bit here.
Just a taste.
Yeah.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Tell me, which side are you on?
It was a Beatles tune originally.
Which side are you on? We'll fight against Josh. We'll fight Elon Musk. No Elon's kept within our walls. We'll fight from dawn to dusk.
All right, thank you, Aaron. There you go.
Very talented. Well, all you need is Ryan Seacrest there and possibly an American Idol moment and, little pitchy. Yo, dog. Little pitchy. Yo, dog.
In the key of non-binary, as our friend Kevin Downey Jr. would say, yes.
They have lost their minds.
Oh, my God.
Lost their minds. It's the lowest sort of level of humanity at this point, and at the point of that which they've lost their minds and don't have anything else to say but start singing these dumb songs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very good.
That was the first one. Second one, Vin.
Yeah.
I'll just give you the same thing I told the audience. That right there was not the strangest clip of the night.
Okay.
Okay? So that kind of sets the bar.
All right.
This was Crazy Town number 2. This happened 2 nights ago in Worcester, Massachusetts at the city council meeting. Roll that, Aaron.
I need the city to protect me because the federal government won't.
A new villain on the Batman
series?
series?
If you think you're afraid of Trump, you should see how afraid of Trump I am.
Can you wrap up, please?
Yes, I can. If you say that you're afraid of Trump and that's why you don't want the city to be a space,
She features
safe space
unhappy
for
meals
trans
at her
people,
restaurant.
You better prepare for trans people to make this a very unsafe space.
I'm shaking right now. I don't want to be here.
This
dude.
I'm sorry. Am I taking too long pleading for my life?
You remembered how many children
Okay, that's
I
good,
have
Aaron.
and how many, and the 2 of them.
What do you think of that, Vin? Would you like to have been at that meeting?
I think those are 2 additional characters for the Batman series. I believe that could be excellent. There's the Joker, the Riddler, and the blue-haired maniac, and others. I saw those for real. Like, I watched the news that aired this. Unbelievably crazy. What has happened to this world? But the one in the blue hair, you're right. You know, the unhappy meal, I think, was a pretty good move.
Yeah. So you missed both of those last night, but you get the idea.
Yeah, very good.
And we discussed whether it's really seriously time to have what has happened to a discussion around mental illness in this country. In that it went from something years ago that was like shh, quiet, to now that has been so celebrated and boasted up on the left that you end up with a half an hour of this at your city council meeting.
Right.
And people are supposed to take it seriously.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right on a serious note on the mental illness side.
Yeah.
Like, this is something, it's in so many aspects of the progressive liberal sort of enablement system they've had where mental illness is pervasive. It's pervasive in this particular group of people, but it's pervasive in the Trump derangement syndrome to the Elon Musk derangement syndrome. It's all sort of the same syndrome of enablement, of brainwashing, of letting people believe these crazy things are real.
Well, not only believe these crazy things are real, but believe that their emotions, how they feel, is to use the Trump's name, the president's name, I should say, should trump everybody else's feelings.
Yeah.
Like, I have these insane feelings, and everyone must share them and agree with them.
Yeah.
Or else there's going to be hell to pay. There's going to be violence in the streets. You know, they have to be the ones who are, like Damon said, they're boosted above everybody else because look how I feel. I feel so bad. I have to dress up like a crazy looking McDonald's character.
It's feeling entitlement.
Yeah.
And by the way, that sentiment, this is part of me getting into some of these wars with people, is the judgmental entitlement side of how the left and the progressives kind of look at things. So in this case, I feel this way. How can you not respect that and feel exactly the same way or understand that? And it's like, because I think you're crazy. And I think it's the same thing with just an average discussion with someone from the left who has that entitlement and that judgmental side rather than just discussing and saying, you know what, Rick? I don't agree with you. You want to grab a beer?
Right, exactly. As opposed to them, oh, I don't agree with you. I need to punch you in the face.
I need to punch you in the face. And then you kind of look at the whole thing and you're like, you know what? Are there enough therapists in the world to help resolve this? Because that's what's really needed now. There's a serious mental health issue. I mean, it's an epidemic anyhow because of what's going on in society with social media and other stuff. But this particular issue is a glaring example of what's needed.
And I love it because Trump just broke all these people.
Oh, yeah.
He really he broke all of these people, and it's glorious to see every single day. Even the politicians who are now cursing, and they're like, I got this one lady. Did you see Maxine Dexter, the Democrat?
No.
All right.
No idea who that is.
I think she was in the crowd. Maybe it was before or after the song crowd. I think it was from the same group, where she got up to speak, and she had this to say about Donald Trump. She went there, and you can see it for yourself. This is cut number 2. Democrat Maxine Dexter, she has been broken and says we need to do this to Trump. Cut 2.
I've been told I have 30 seconds, so I am going to tell you that we do have to I don't swear in public very well, but we have to Trump.
I saw this. Crazy.
Ew.
Please don't tell my children that I just did that.
You're great.
Yeah, I don't think that's the thing your children should probably be most worried about you.
Yeah.
Would be the fact that you said the F-bomb. I think there's probably a lot of other issues that are affecting your kids more than that, by the way.
The anger.
If I had to take a wild guess.
Yeah, well, you had to really stretch yourself out there,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. But the anger and the expression of the anger that you see. One thing, though, I have to say, that out of all this derangement we're seeing, wasn't convinced we would see this, and that is this unity in the Republican Party.
Oh, okay, right.
I mean, Tulsi Gabbard getting approved, RFK getting approved, and hopefully, the FBI director, Cash. They're united for the first time. I don't ever remember this level of unity. Do you?
No, and it's funny, we don't have time now. We're going to hit the break. But thinking about Tulsi and RFK, they're like the latest pariahs of leftism, right? Because think about where they were positioned just 4, 5, 10 years ago within the parties.
Yeah.
Where Tulsi came from, RFK, Kennedy, where they're from. And now to see where they are working on this team and that they've been attacked by, quote unquote, their side.
Yep.
Has been quite something to watch.
Yeah.
So
always cannibalize.
All right, just getting started. 13 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. New sports all coming up. Kristen Thorne's going to join us as well, investigative reporter. Oh, she's only a 5-time Emmy winner. Why is she here? We have no idea. She's going to join us.
I think she got lost.
A little overqualified to be on this show, but we'll talk to her coming up. We're back.
Good. I had to tell her that our Manhattan studios, which are about 300,000 square feet, are under construction, and to come to Long Island.
All right, we're live in the chat. What's going on? Social media, X, Rumble, YouTube, Getter, Kick, wherever you're watching. Welcome on in. How's everybody doing? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Child of the King, hello. Chris D on YouTube, hello.
David.
Robert Brooks, hey, Delgado. Does this mean she wants to what?
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah.
I really was expecting a better reaction from Damon, though. I thought the Shane Gillis would have got you, because I thought that was so funny. Where he's just like, ew.
Oh. I love Shane Gillis.
And he does a great Trump.
He does do a great job. They just met at the Super Bowl. Yeah.
That's funny.
Hello, Damon. What side are you on? Song is a commie song with the words changed. Thank you, Racing Banshee. I thought it was maybe an original.
Yeah, it takes a lot to write a parody song. So she had to sit down and she had to take it all. She had to get the original words, write her words next to it. I've done a lot of parody writing, so it's a process. So you got to give the lady credit. It was terrible, and she sucks at singing, but at least she powered through and did the whole song. And that's another thing about parody songs. You don't do the whole song.
Right.
You only do one verse and a chorus, and then you're out. You don't want to do the whole song.
Mark Casoli, how's your back feeling, Big D? It's a little better every day, Mark. Thanks for asking. It was not good this morning, but then went to see Dr. Gary today and got things moving. He is a magician.
Don't shovel snow. It's either your back or a heart attack. I mean, you got to stay away from that.
I had the machine for like 80% of it, then it just died. So I was like, I'll just finish to clean up the rest.
Yeah. Right.
And I thought to myself, you got to be careful because you don't want to throw your back out. So I was thinking about it, and still ended up in traction.
I don't remember ever shoveling snow and not hurting my back.
Thanks.
Slickster.
What's up, Big D?
How are you?
All right, good.
How was your event? Say hi to Kristen.
Hi, Kristen. Running late. To the next.
Yeah, you're moving and shaking. That's the way we like it. Ah, nice.
Let's see what else is going on in the chat. Damon, try tens. I have my tens unit on right now.
What is that?
All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice, and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio. Glad you're in, everybody. Slick's going to do some sports. Delgado's got some news. Vinnie Mac's here. He's got some news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Before we get to the news and sports, let's get to, Trump just every day is just...
it's a whirlwind.
Just whirlwind of making news, taking questions, making statements in the Oval Office, swearing people in, taking 24 more minutes of questions. This might be the most satisfying thing, at least to me, who's held this vendetta for about 15, as long as I've done this show now, 10 years, 11 years.
Oh, boy.
The person I've complained and bitched about more than any single person. Oh, no, it's not a Democrat. You would think it was. It's not. It was a Republican, and President Trump today said this. Said this. Lost the audio. I thought I heard it start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I do have the clip. I think it's cut 7 where he talks about his favorite turtle.
Yes.
Frozen turtle?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So we have it. So let's play it. Let's see if that one works.
Cut number 7. Here he is taking Mitch McConnell to task.
Mitch McConnell has now voted against several of your nominees. He voted against RFK Jr. as the next health secretary, citing conspiracy theories. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I feel sorry for Mitch. And I was one of the people that led. He wanted to go to the end, and he wanted to stay leader. He's not equipped mentally. He wasn't equipped 10 years ago mentally, in my opinion. He'd let the Republican Party go to hell. If I didn't come along, the Republican Party wouldn't even exist right now. Mitch McConnell never really had it. He had an ability to raise money because of his position as leader, which anybody could do. You could do it even. And that's saying a lot. But the fact is that he raised money, and he gave a lot of money to senators, and so he had a little loyalty based on the fact that as leader you could raise a lot of money. The senators would call me and they say, he wants to give me 25 million. Can I take it? I'd say, take the money. But he engendered a certain amount of, I don't even call it loyalty. He was able to get votes. But I was the one that got him to drop out of the leadership position, so he can't love me. But he's not voting against Bobby. He's voting against me, but that's all right. He endorsed me. Mitch, do you know that Mitch endorsed me, right?
Well, he did.
You think that was easy? What?
He had polio, obviously, and his.
I don't know. I don't know anything about. He had polio.
Are you doubting that he had polio?
I have no idea if he had polio. All I can tell you about him is that he shouldn't have been leader. He knows that. He voted against Bobby. He votes against almost everything now. He's a very bitter guy, and we have a very strong party, and he's almost not even really a very powerful member. I'd say he's not he's lost his power, and it's affected his vote. And it's one of those things. But in the meantime, Bobby did great, got more votes than anybody thought, and I think he's going to do phenomenally in that position. And everybody else likewise did well. Not only well, they got more votes than anybody thought. Tulsi, look at how she did. She did great.
Yeah, so there you go.
So for those of us, especially me, who have screamed about this guy for 10 years, and by the way, asked and pleaded for President Trump in 2020 to not endorse Mitch McConnell. So when he says, there's kind of, it's a little bitter when he says he wasn't mentally there 10 years ago. Well, why'd you endorse him when we had a chance to get rid of him? That's the one thing I'll never figure out. Because we could have got rid of him in 2020 or whatever it was.
But then the seat would have went to a Democrat.
And that would have been worse?
Yeah.
No, it would not have been worse. Nobody could be worse than Mitch McConnell has been. Not a chance.
First time around, Trump was misled by Mitch, by Paul Ryan, and all of these folks. He was not familiar with that system. It was new, the whole thing, and these guys took advantage of him. This time around, the one great thing that's happened here with this election is it is his party. He won the election in 2016. It wasn't his party. He won the election.
He crashed it.
He won the election. It wasn't his party.
Right.
This is his party. Proof is in the pudding. When the Republicans band together like they have, pushing through these nominees like they have, with the opposition at a level that's extraordinary, and some within the own party that are still moving over, Susan Collins and others, that says everything you want to say. So it's apples and oranges, and Mitch was in the way.
Yeah.
In the way big time, as was Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan gets no pass on this. He was horrible. He screwed up 4 years. Unfortunately for Trump, he did so many great things, but they tried to screw him up at every turn. This time around, it's his party. He's in charge. He's making the decisions, and people are following.
Yeah.
Boom.
And not only that, he also got screwed. You know, he didn't know the Mitch McConnells and Paul Ryans until he got there.
Had no idea.
But he also got screwed by the people he did know, like the Chris Christies of the world.
Oh, boy. You're 100% right.
So he goes into it thinking, all right, at least this guy, I can trust him. And he gets screwed from him as well.
He's like, I know Chris Christie.
Right. I've known him for years.
He was probably like, I know a lot of these guys.
Right.
Even the Democrats.
But he didn't know them.
I know Chuck Schumer.
He didn't know them like he needed to know them.
No, you're 100% right.
So,
but it's a different time, a different day, and it's a great time and a great day.
Put up this tweet today, by the way, in case everybody was wondering, well, geez, why is Mitch the only one who's voting? Why all of a sudden Mitch has decided? Jamal Hawley, a representative from New Jersey, said, Mr. President, real Donald Trump, yes, it's true. Senator McConnell's working with our representatives at the DNC if you needed a confirmed answer.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure he's out to destroy Trump if he could, but he's just not capable.
Put him in his wheelchair, put him in the truck, drive him to the dog track.
He's done.
Put a little pin on him that says, I used to be Mitch McConnell, and sayonara.
He's glue.
That's what we need to happen.
Yeah.
So, all right, 23 past the hour. Let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. Slickster's here. Slick, how are you?
I'm doing good, Big D.
LFS6B is the promo code to use if you shop at MyPillow. Slickster's got sports. What's going on?
All right, let's get to the scoreboard. NCAA Men's Division I basketball right now. We got Maryland and Nebraska getting ready to tip off at 8:30. Then we have Memphis and South Florida at 9, as well as San Francisco at Gonzaga. That's 11 o'clock. All no games in action right now. NHL, though, they're doing the Four Nations face-off in lieu of the All-Star game this year. And we have USA and Finland. Game is just underway, about 50 seconds in. So we will be tracking that. So again, no big all-star, frou-frou that we have every year at the weekend. We're going straight on with USA, Finland, Canada, and Sweden all facing off to see who's going to be the big win. I know Vin's a big hockey fan.
I love it.
Great stuff, right?
I love the tournament. It's great.
Who do you like?
I'm absolutely with Canada and the U.S. I mean, of course, the United States. I want the United States to win. Right. Canada will be my second choice.
Right, USA, absolutely. So we're going to keep track of that as well. NBA action right now, just underway. Rockets and Warriors, 14-12, 5 to go there in the first quarter. And Kings and Pelicans knotted at 19, 4 minutes to go in the first as well. And again, the Genesis Invitational, that kicked off today as well. Torrey Pines course in La Jolla, California. $20 million purse. And number one was McCarthy. He shot a 4-under today to open the field. And speaking of, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers, right? I heard that, New York Jets to split with quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Big news. We know the New York media market is a lightning rod, of course, with football and any sports. And we got the New York Jets told quarterback Aaron Rodgers they plan to drop him from the roster, the team said Thursday. Aaron, are you upset about that?
Honestly, not really. I feel like with the new regime that's coming in with Aaron Glenn, and they basically redid their entire staff, so we can't keep going back to what's not working. We just have to move on. We can't just be worried about being Jets fans for this next season. We got to worry about the team for the next 10, 15, 20 years.
Exactly. And Rodgers,
good luck.
41 questions. He's expected to be a post-June 1 roster cut, allowing the Jets to split $49 million salary cap charges between 2025 and 2026 season. Releasing or trading Rodgers before that point would result in a $49 million cap charge in 2025. So Jets are moving on. They're probably looking to draft Shedeur Sanders or somebody.
They need to draft an entire team.
Yeah, exactly.
What's not working, Slick?
You know what?
What's not working with the Jets? Okay, for the last 10 years, what's not working?
I have a great prediction. I think the Giants should take Aaron Rodgers and then draft Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss. That would be a great move for the Giants.
You lost me at hello.
And that's a wrap in sports.
I
don't play darts.
You watch. We've got the receivers. We just need to get them the ball.
I think they're going to draft Tim Tinnerington. I believe he'll be
Jackson
first
Dart?
round.
Tim's back.
Tim's
All right,
back.
live from Studio 6B, we're back. Kristen Thorne will join us when we get back right after this. I'll ask Aaron.
Yeah.
We'll get him for nothing.
Aaron, we have IFB out here for. Oh, it's right under. Yeah, so it is that one.
Who's he with?
You guys want me to put it in? It's up to you.
Yeah, this way you know what's going on.
Totally up to you.
Kiffin's
Yeah.
good. Okay.
Telling you.
I was trying to get this chair.
Hello.
Chair?
Good luck. These chairs are terrible. Actually, if you
Check
stand up, I'll
1,
give it
2.
good.
Check, baby.
Rick
check.
can do it. If anyone can do it. I mean, look at the guns he's got over here. I mean, he can do it. There you go. He's a total gentleman.
Hi.
This is exciting.
Yeah, do you mind? There we go. Thank you. Thank you.
I want to adjust.
What a guy.
Let me get myself.
What a guy.
Where are you? There you go. There you go.
What's up?
All right, you guys are primarily looking at what camera? Where are you guys looking?
I usually look at mine here, but sometimes I just.
Oh, that's mine. Okay, great. Okay.
We usually
Watch you
talk
guys
to
in
each
the-
other.
Yeah.
I look at all of them
watching how you
because
guys
I want to
work.
get every angle
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
yeah,
Finn
plastic
likes to-
surgery takes
Finn likes to
long,
show off
long,
his
long time.
hairpiece from all angles.
A
So
long time to get my facial features.
Chat. What's going on, chat? Everybody say hi to Kristen in the chat.
Hi. I don't
JJ Net says best show on TV.
Really?
Live from Studio
There we
6B.
I just had a guy at the
Now
meeting. He
you're
goes, "My God, I was going through Pluto Television." I said, "Wait a minute, that's Rick Amorati." I didn't know you.
LSU Patriot, $10 super chat. Thank you very much. To the colored
What's
hair,
that?
septum pierced clan. Just because you're unattractive doesn't mean you're another gender.
Oh,
Hopefully,
okay.
all the freak show nonsense ends soon. Get these folks mental health support.
The logo, like that.
That's what they need.
His mic is.
You don't like it?
No, I love it.
I've heard from so many people that.
Same.
I love it.
What's the problem?
You heard what?
I hear from so many people that are fans of the show just how much they just love the show. Like the adoration for something different on TV. I hear it all the time. It's great. I mean, it's really great to hear. You don't know, what you're doing sometimes.
Yeah,
Well,
then
you
those,
guys for the
then
most
those
part.
people call you and tell you they don't want to be your friend.
Then I get
jeez.
canceled.
That's how you know you're breaking through, Vin.
Intense.
Hey, you don't know if you've made it till you've
Yes.
been canceled by a bunch of lunatics from Los Angeles.
Dude, I was canceled before.
Yeah, I heard that
Before it
about
was
you,
even
man.
before they even called.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Thursday night. Real America's Voice and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio. Glad you're in. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's doing news. Vinnie Mac's going to have some news coming up. But right now, please welcome to the show Kristen Thorne. She is a 5-time Emmy Award-winning investigative reporter. She worked for WABC Channel 7 Eyewitness News for 13 years. And previous to that, she worked as a reporter for WCBS and News 12. She is the creator, writer, director, and executive producer and host of Hulu's first ever true crime series dedicated to finding missing people. Missing is one of the top shows produced by ABC-owned television station, and she's here to join us now. Kristen, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Look at that.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
He's like the Tom Brady of investigative reporting. 5 times.
I don't
exactly
think
right.
so. I'm just crazy. I just love what I do. I love investigative journalism. And so that's what happens when you love what you do.
Yeah. What you do is so important because so many things are just not known and under the covers or maybe seem like they're one thing and they're not, and people like yourself get in there, they dig deep, and you find out the truth, like Gilgo Beach murders and other things.
How did you decide that this is what you wanted? I mean, obviously, you probably could have done a lot of things. How did you find your way into this niche of investigative reporting, and even further, the kind of the crime? How'd you find your way there?
Well, look, investigations, I think all good journalists are fundamentally investigators. But I had I'd done general assignment. That's what you see on the news every night, right? Your general assignment street reporter out there gathering all the news for the day. And I just felt like I need something more. I want to dig more. I've always been, I was a total nerd in school. I love school. I love learning. I was like, I want to do more. And so there was an opening in the investigative unit. I applied, I got it. And it really was the best move for me at the time. It was really great because I needed more. How did I get into crime? I was the lead reporter for ABC News on the Gabby Petito disappearance.
Wow.
And the reason is she was from Long Island. I was the Long Island correspondent for Eyewitness News at the time. So here I am covering the story. Next thing you know how that took off. And it was in doing that I started to think about missing people and missing adults specifically, which is a huge problem in this country. If you're between 18 and 64 and you disappear, good luck.
Wow.
To you and your family. It is scary.
Wow.
Juveniles, obviously, we have a great system set up. I mean, not perfect, but much better. We have Amber Alerts. We have all these sorts of things. Then we have Silver Alerts for our seniors. Thank goodness. But what happens in that age range is there's always an excuse from law enforcement. And I have the utmost respect for law enforcement. But I've heard these stories too many times. Oh, she's just out partying. She'll come home soon. Oh, isn't your son a drug addict? So, he's probably just out getting high. And the primary reason people have disappeared is not because many of them have not chosen to. They have been killed. They have been murdered. And they're not here because their bodies have been disposed of. And one of the reasons I am so passionate about this issue is not only for their families, is for the people who harm them, who are literally getting away with murder.
Yeah.
They know no body, no murder. You have to understand the body. Am I getting too heavy here?
No, not at all.
Sure?
No, we've got some bodies buried over there.
Okay.
We're going to send you looking around.
A couple of former co-hosts.
Having fun, I am talking about.
Well, because this is going to lead up to really one of the reasons you're here to talk about a very current event that's going on in this city.
Yes.
That I think a lot of this audience, even if they're not in this area, is going to have a real interest in, because this is probably not the only place that this is going on.
Yeah. So
that's for sure.
I will absolutely get to that. So anyway, that's really my interest. That's how the crime thing started. And then once you kind of get in that world, you just become kind of known. So I've been to CrimeCon. I don't know if you're familiar with CrimeCon, but it's a conference that focuses on helping victims of crime. And so I've spoken there. And so it's just kind of taken off. But the reason I'm here today, same idea of investigations, right? Criminal activity, looking for people who are causing harm to people, which I do in the show. I knock on the doors of suspects that I think may be responsible for these disappearances.
And can we, before we get to what you're here to write, the current event, can you talk a little bit about missing? So you're doing investigative reporting at ABC7, and is that what led to missing, or missing came kind of next after that, right?
Well, it's all at the same time. So I was producing the show while I was a reporter at WABC. So as you know, Disney owns both outlets, and so that was kind of the way it happened.
Okay, so that's how it ended on Hulu.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
Great. Okay.
Exactly, yeah, because of that partnership.
I just wanted to add something. What you had said about the ages where people go missing and you just don't know where they are, and ultimately they're just killed and dead and somewhere else. I mean, nobody's looking for them. All you hear is cold case stuff. Nobody's looking for these people. They're looking, but they're not really looking. Like, there's not a concerted effort. It's like they've been missing for 2 months. There's nothing we can do. And then you pop up.
Yeah, and I've really become a great resource for families all throughout, really, the country. So one of the first things I tell people is you are going to find your loved one, not police. Right. You need to be putting up flyers. You need to be going through their social media. A lot of people think, oh, they have a phone, I'm just going to track them. Well, the killers take care of that. And you can't go, people think, well, Police will pin the phone. You can't just pin somebody's phone. You have to have a warrant. So all these things take time, a lot of time. And unfortunately, during that time, there's, I believe, bad things that are happening to people.
Yep.
And that's why they're disappearing. And so people really have to take this into their own hands. So this is I'm very passionate about this issue, because when you hear from these families across the country and it's the same story.
It's got to be heartbreaking. And also, when you're hearing the same story over and over again, I mean,
it's the same pattern.
It's the same pattern.
You're hearing the same pattern over and over.
Same pattern.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Is there, because I watch a lot of TV, I see Criminal Minds. There's this show called 48 Hours. Is the first 48 hours, they say there's a time, like the first 48 hours are the most important if you're trying to find someone.
Well,
is that true?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, the victims that I have in my show, there was a period of time when they disappeared that they were still alive. Of course they were. And when you go back through their histories and you start really digging into the text messages and things like that, something very bad happened to them. And you have to understand, police cannot open a homicide investigation without a body. Okay? The body is the key.
Yeah.
And these families are not naive. They understand their loved one is gone. But having that body allows that entire investigation to now begin. And that's why finding the body is so important. Unfortunately, the criminals know that too.
Yeah.
So let's bring it back to what's going on right now in New York City.
Yes. All right. So this is something, again, using the same sort of investigative techniques. We wonder why in New York we pay more for rent, more for our insurance, homeowners, car. One of the biggest things happening right now is fraud. Rampant fraud that is happening throughout New York State. So when it comes to your homeowner's insurance, in New York City primarily, we are seeing people stage accidents on construction sites or outside construction sites on sidewalks. And this has really picked up since 21, 22, 23. Okay. There's always been fraud. There's always been people who have said, I fell on this job site and now I can never work, or I can't do anything. But it has gotten to such a point now that insurers are pulling out of New York. Premiums have gone up across the board for all of us, property insurance, homeowners, because even when these accidents, doesn't matter if they're real or not, the insurance companies have to investigate them. They end up raising their premiums. They will say, we are forced to raise our premiums and we all pay for it. Forget about auto fraud. It's the same thing. You guys probably saw that viral video on the Belt Parkway, okay? Yeah. I've got similar ones on Nassau Expressway. Same exact thing that happened 6 months before that. It is rampant. And that's why we are all paying more in our auto insurance. New York has certain laws in place that has allowed this fraud to really just explode at this point. And so there's a lot of hope. This is what I'm investigating now, digging more into this. There's been several federal RICO lawsuits that have been filed alleging that there are law firms and doctors that are perpetuating this fraud. After one of my investigations aired, there is a law firm in the city that ended up walking away from 262 cases.
Wow.
They went to a judge and said, Judge, we believe that we have ethical concerns around these cases. And these were all primarily staged construction accidents. So what I'm trying to do is raise awareness about this issue, because I think it is one of the reasons we can't build more affordable housing in New York State. The governor talks a lot about that. How are you going to build affordable housing when contractors can barely afford to build massive skyscrapers where they're generating a ton of money eventually? So you now go tell that contractor, we want you to go build affordable housing. How are they going to get insurance? The insurance costs in New York are now 12.5% of the overall project cost, compared to 2.5% in New Jersey and Connecticut. How is that possible? We share borders.
You know what I just noticed in your notes, and I think this translates, a lot, our audience is all over the country, and this is a all over the country problem. Why? Because in your notes, you noted that now they're exploiting migrants and illegals because they can. And I'm talking about the lawyers and the doctors that are steering the illegals now that have flooded this country.
Yeah, so that was my question.
Everywhere.
If illegal immigration in the city has affected this.
So look, here's my opinion on that. This fraud has been going on, the staged construction accident fraud, for years.
Right. It's
really,
an old practice.
2012 is when we start to see it. It has exploded in 2020, 21, 22, 23. What happened in our country during that time? We have an influx of vulnerable people who, if you tell them, we're going to give you a couple $1,000s to go here and say that you fell, and then you may have to have a surgery.
Get it.
We're going to have you have a little surgery, but you're going to be okay. But they'll get tens of thousands of dollars for that surgery. They're going to do it. We have a deposition that just happened back in October. A migrant came to New York. He said this is public information. He came to New York from the border. He came to New York City. Within a few weeks of being here, he fell on a job site. He said in his deposition that he is using the loan money from his lawyer as well as his workers' comp money to pay his coyote back $21,000.
There you go. Yeah.
We now have New York State workers' comp money being used to pay a coyote. And the migrant said it in his own words. It is a public document filed.
Wow.
All right, 43 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We're back right after this. We'll do some more news, more with Kristen, coming up right after this. In the chat. What's going on, chat?
I would think, though, with any crime.
Why isn't this headline news? Good question.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the chat say this is unbelievable. Why isn't this headline news?
If you go to my YouTube page, Kristen Thorne on YouTube, I think it's Kristen Thorne 1. I have compiled all of my investigations, so you can kind of see the videos that we have of these claimants, these plaintiffs saying that they fell. They are literally jumping down a hole and saying that they can never work again. They're traumatized. And this, you have to understand something. This is not just happening a few times. There are potentially thousands of these cases right now. I mean, one law firm walked away from 262. Right. Those are the ones we know. Yeah. And we know that some of the other law firms are also doing this, and we're starting to track some of that information.
And let's be clear, they walked away because they knew the pressure. They knew what you were doing, and they were like, well,
look,
we don't need this kind of heat.
Yeah.
What they said to the judge in the court was that they have ethical concerns around the person who brought them these cases. So what these law firms do is they use runners. These are people who go out and essentially find people who have fallen. The question is, have these people really fallen, or is this just a recruiting sort of scheme? And when we look at the data, and I love to look at data, it's my favorite thing because we just track. Here's the case. Here's the plaintiff. By the way, we have buildings in New York that have hundreds of plaintiffs, meaning they're not suing the building where they live that they fell. But when you look at it, you can see that there are people living in the same apartments who have filed complaints within 1 month of each other. that they fell at different job sites.
Oh my goodness. It's so dangerous out there.
It's very dangerous.
No one knows how dangerous it is out there.
There's a running, it's not really a joke, but it's sort of in this world to say, the ladders in New York are the most dangerous ladders in the world.
Crazy.
Awesome. Awesome.
And we're all paying for it. And that's why I'm so passionate about this issue.
But I think any crime ring right now, even the people that are breaking into stores and stealing stuff, now that they have all these migrants here in this country, they're just like, they have instant crime people to go do stuff, fraud like this or anything.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Thursday night. Real America's Voice and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio. Rick Delgado's going to do some news. Slick's doing sports. Vinnie Mac's got some news coming up as well. Kristen Thorne's with us. She's an investigative journalist. And we've been talking about this, just really unbelievable that these kind of stories are not. Someone in the chat said, why is this not headline news? And it absolutely should be. So the law firm, you say, that walked away from 230 some odd cases.
262.
262.
That we know about.
That you know about. How many other law firms, or let me ask you this, first of all, did they walk away because they knew that somebody was on this story and they were like, Well,
let's just say they walked away after I aired this investigation.
Okay.
There was no walking away before I started calling and asking them, how did you file a lawsuit saying that this man fell on a job site when that man is telling me, I never worked there? And the contractor is telling me, he's never worked here. How did you file that complaint? Because I had this was actually a victim of this. This man from Queens thought he was signing a job application. Someone brought him a stack of papers that was completely in English and told him, you need a job, right? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to fill this out. You're going to put your name, your birth date, and you're going to sign it. And you're going to get a check for $15,000 in the mail. You're going to go to the bank. You're going to cash that check. You're going to give me $2,000, me $13,000, and you're going to keep $2,000. That's exactly what happened. This guy, Carlos, thought that he had filled out an application for a job. A few days, weeks later, he starts getting lawsuits, paperwork in the mail. He's going, what is this? And it alleged that he had fallen on a job site in Brooklyn on August, whatever date, 2022. And he goes, this is... So I eventually get in touch with him. I call the contractor. I confirm with the contractor. He has no idea who this guy is. It gets worse. Someone posed as Carlos, went to a physical therapy office in Queens, went there 16 times, posing as him, billed workers' comp. It's not him. The man used an ID with Carlos's full Spanish name, his address, and changed the birth date by 1 day. And guess who the imposter listed as his emergency contact on his medical, law firm.
Wow. Was it Carlos Danger, by the way?
No. See, here's the thing. You look at a law firm that's willing to take their chance on this until somebody like Kristen comes along, and then they say, oh, well, we may have some problems with this. But here's the problem. The problem is when you look at New York, everybody is incentivized to try to walk this line because, number one, it's all about money. Number two, they look at the governor. They look at the district attorney. They look at what the AG in New York. They look at criminals in New York. And what happens? In the front door, out the back door. You can get away with murder in New York. So what is this compared to what we've seen? You can push people in front of the subway and be on the street the next day. What's a little, I may have fallen, won a couple. That doesn't even register.
That's a great point.
So everyone is incentivized. So you get a law firm, and a lot of respectable law firms, but you get a law firm that maybe is not so much, and they think, oh, this could be a lot of money. What's going to happen? They're not even locking up the killers.
Well, you know what it is.
There could be a little gray area here.
And I don't think it's about like one case. Oh, we're going to get a lot of money from this. it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kristen, is that they're going for volume. They're going, you know what? Let's get a bunch of settlements of $13,000. You get 10 or 12 of those settlements. That's a nice week.
These settlements can be $1 to $6 million.
Right, but I'm saying that the initial check.
Yes,
it's like, all right, we already got the 13. Here's your 2. See you later. Arrivederci. They don't have to deal with that guy anymore. Right. But they're still going to get money because now that building is going to be like, we want to settle. They don't want to go to court.
Yeah. Most of the insurers
that's what they're banking on.
Exactly. And most of the insurers do not want to go to court, although now they're starting to fight back because the volume got to be too much.
Yeah.
This was going on and it was happening, and all of a sudden you had these contractors going, how all of a sudden are we getting all these claims? Yeah. And then they started looking at it and go, why are we seeing these? And of course there are reputable law firms, personal injury law firms out there. But it does seem that there are several that have identified this as a way to make money, and they're doing it using vulnerable Spanish immigrants and migrants. Every single plaintiff that I have seen, and I've looked at hundreds of these cases, are Spanish names. Every single one.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
You know what I say? I say, Elon Musk, if you're watching us right now, and Doge, you need to hire Kristen.
Yeah.
You need to get Kristen in there because we need that kind of investigative reporting within what he's doing.
I get what he's doing. He's looking at data. So data is our friend. Data will tell you trends. It will tell you what's going on. That's why I love it so much, because I just kind of go through and document and see how these cases are proceeding and where they're stemming from, looking at it.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. 8 minutes till the hour. Kristen's going to hang with us for a little bit. Let's do some news. We haven't done any news yet. And here with that's Rick Delgado. News is brought to you by our friends at Freedom Force Nutrition. Supplements, vitamins, all available live from Studio6B.com. What's going on, Delgado?
Well, that's news to me. No, I'm kidding. I'm glad she's going to hang around because I do want to ask her about some of the cases in New York. Like the Sexy Rexy case, the Gilgo murder guy.
Of course.
And also the 14-year-old girl. They're up to like 13 people they've indicted for this one girl who went missing.
One on the boat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's and being an investigative report. And like you said, it was her family that found her. So we'll talk about that in a bit. But today was a big day, a big win for President Trump. As you guessed it, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., one of President Trump's most controversial cabinet picks, has been sworn in as the next U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary. Here is RFK delivering a tribute to President Trump after being sworn in. It's cut number 4. Take a listen for yourself. Cut number 4.
For 20 years, I've gotten up every morning on my knees and prayed that God would put me in a position where I can end the childhood chronic disease epidemic in this country. On August 23rd of last year, God sent me President Trump, and he gave me... He's now given me, he's kept every promise that he's made to me. He's kept his word in every account and gone way beyond it. I'm so grateful to you, Mr. President. A lot of people told me that I couldn't trust President Trump, that I better get it in writing. And we did a handshake, and everything that he told me he was going to do, he has done. And I'm so grateful to him, and I've told you before, I genuinely believe that you are a pivotal historical figure, and you are going to transform this country.
Yeah, so there you have it. The words from RFK Jr. He was confirmed by a vote of 52 to 48. Of course, as you would expect, no Democrats backed him, including Democrat Mitch McConnell, who was also joining the Dems. The former presidential candidate himself will now oversee the key health agencies with about 80,000 employees for now.
When you think about that, think about all the old clips of all the committee hearings in Congress we played where our RFK Jr. was called as an expert for all of the Dem committees at the time. Yeah. They controlled all the committees. He was a genius.
Yeah.
They brought him in. They wanted to hear from him.
Yeah.
Now, zero of them vote for him. Yeah. Zero.
Elon was a genius too.
Wow.
I had to get a Tesla.
Yeah. Even the guy.
He's a genius.
Even the guy who was part of his wedding party, Sheldon Whitehouse.
Yes.
Didn't vote for him. They grew up together. Been friends for decades.
He was in his wedding party.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden he's a big danger.
Right. So again,
Crazy.
RFK is going to oversee an 80,000 employee staff, as well as a $1 trillion budget. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle had questioned, of course, his health claims and his vaccine skepticism. But now he's in charge.
Oh, good.
The country needs him. We're obese. We're unhealthy. We're eating junk. We've got plastic particles in our brain.
All those dyes.
Oh, the red dyes.
That was great to
Aaron,
hear
any of
about
those Dunkin'
dyes.
Donuts left in the kitchen? All right, I'll be right there.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit some break.
Dye on it.
Bring me a plastic straw while you're at it.
That's a quick hour 1, hour 2 coming up. We're back right after this.
I think Rick made a friend.
Chat.
Oh,
God, yeah.
Sex trafficking is an issue that even when you think it's a huge issue, it's 10 times bigger than the huge issue just globally and within the States, and Long Island is a hub. With those gangs, the MS-13 folks and these other gangs, it's I just find that entire topic just disgusting, and how there's just not an all-out onslaught to lock everybody up who's involved in it.
Sarcastic Prodigy on YouTube says, go get some of that old yellow dye with them donuts, Big D. Actually, Delgado beat me to it.
Yeah.
I'm housing another one.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Michael Bowerman on Facebook. Good show tonight, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ticked Off Patriot on YouTube. Hello, Damon. Hello. The chat is going fast tonight. The chat goes fast every night. Delgado went to warm him socks. No, Delgado went to actually grab another donut.
Right. Then he put the socks in the bathroom.
It's all right. When you have arms like Delgado, you can have a couple donuts.
I have a couple donuts. It's okay.
Time to make the
You guys should have more guests on the show. Adds another level of interest. Okay, Thank you very much.
Hello. I'll take the check, please.
Now, my question is, what the hell happened to investigative journalists? They don't exist anymore.
There's a couple of super chats.
rare.
Okay, let me go see if I can find
I'm really
those.
rare.
Yep.
I mean, I get people bring stories to me, and if it's not something I can't do everything. I can't. So sometimes I'll say, listen, I can't do this right now. Is there anybody else? They'll say, is there anybody else who would handle it? I'm like, I'm going to be honest. There are very few of us that can deal with complex investigations and have the ability to do it quickly, efficiently, professionally.
Now, are you, do you have like a criminal background where you're like a police officer?
No, but
okay.
you know, when you're a reporter for 25 years, you're around a lot of crime.
You just sniff it out at this point, right?
Yeah, know.
Just your instincts alone. You're a detective.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
that's what I feel like.
Detectives can sniff it out.
Yep.
Unless they're,
I've interviewed
interviewing Bill Clinton or someone.
I've done prison interviews. Law enforcement and journalists are we share a lot of the same skills, and we're around each other a lot. Crime scenes,
Let's go. We'll go you.
So you know how to commit the perfect crime?
So we'll try to get all three of you in here, and then we can go back to Kristen for
yeah.
second segment, because in the
Yes.
third segment. Hour 2, live from Studio 6B on a Thursday night. Glad you're in. Real America's Voice and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio. Glad you're in, everybody. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's doing the news. Vinnie Mac's got some thoughts coming up. Kristen Thorne has joined us. Investigative journalist, 5-time Emmy winner. Boy, that's, I saw your picture on, I guess it was one of your social medias. A little party of 5 there.
Yeah, party of 5.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know.
That is
amazing.
How come you didn't win 6?
I mean,
give me some time.
Exactly, Delgado.
Give me some time.
When's
The
your first one?
investigation I'm working on, I'm putting up for an Emmy.
Exactly.
It's a raspberry.
You're going to get no credit for it, so don't even ask.
We'll give you a participation trophy.
Yes, everybody gets
All
one.
I hope is that when I go missing, she comes looking.
Okay.
You should.
There you go.
Nobody's
I've
going to
had
look.
friends
Trust me.
say that. I've had friends
Don't
say
hold your breath, pal.
I'm looking for you, Delgado. You're between 18 and 64. You're done.
I will try to find you.
Thank you.
You're between 18
Kristen and I box
64.
together, you know. We're boxers.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're boxers. She beats this
Kick your
shit.
butt.
Oh.
Excuse me, Vin. Excuse me.
What
I
about
didn't
snot?
say it. I stopped halfway.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Speaking of Vin, almost cursing here on the show, let's
Vin.
do some news with
Thank
Vinny
you.
Mac. Vinny hasn't been here. I showed him the crazy towns he missed yesterday.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's other things on your mind that you've been, you've already teased us a little bit
Yeah.
with your Facebook. We were going to make a segment of this, I guess. I don't know what Vinny's Facebook fanatics or something we were going to call it. But what's going on, Vin?
There's so much. There's just so much. It's crazy. And in this particular issue.
You're welcome, Eric.
All right, let's all relax. This particular issue goes beyond my personal story, which I'm going to share with you now, what happened.
All right.
Because it has just opened my eyes in a different way to just a critical nature of a psychological and sociological problem that we have in this country right now that I can't figure out how to fix it and what the solution is. I kind of go back to this. If I told you that and there was no Donald Trump, there was no Joe Biden, it was just the U.S. government. If I told you the U.S. government was going to deport criminals living here illegally, you'd be like, yeah, that's a good idea, right? Everybody would. The left, the right, the middle, the top, the down, everybody would say that. If I told you we're going to secure the border too, yeah, sure, that's a great idea. We're going to audit spending. We're going to prosecute corruption. We're going to eliminate political correctness and wokeness. We're going to make the country healthy, RFK. We're going to create parity in tariffs and trade deals. It's going to be even, like when no more is taking advantage of us. We're going to reduce the deficit. We're going to do all these things. We're going to bring manufacturing back. We're going to clean up bias in federal agencies. We're going to protect women and not have men in the locker room anymore. We're going to have energy independence. We're going to bring peace to the Middle East and Ukraine. We're going to fund those affected by the hurricanes. We're going to finally do that for everybody. We're going to do all of these things. Military recruitment is going to be way up. If I told you all these things, and there was no Donald Trump, and there was no Joe Biden, there was no left or right, everybody would be like, yeah, it's fantastic. Well, that's not the case. Now, I had a situation here. I was canceled by people I've known for a very long time. A group of very close friends, too. They happen to be on the left coast, so maybe a little affected by some of the manipulation of news and media. But I was literally canceled. When I say canceled, I was uninvited to a major event because Trump won the election. And I spoke about it on social media. I got a phone call from a very close friend of mine who called me a racist a few years ago because I supported Donald Trump. I saw him riding my bicycle in Santa Monica. And he said, yeah, we can't be friends. You're racist. I'm like, what are you talking about? We eventually talked it out. We hugged it out. And we were like, that was stupid. But I got canceled. He called me to talk about the canceling. And as much as I was sort of upset and hurt about this, and I think most of us on the right who might be making comments on Facebook or on social media, and I know there's a lot of people watch the show because I see you on there sharing your thoughts with my misery in this types of things. We all are going through this. Delgado's been canceled. All of us has had an issue with somebody. But for this particular time and this particular group and people that you know really well, it just pushed me back to there's a major sociological and psychological problem in this country. People have been brainwashed to an extent that it's damaging just basic personal relationships. And what I see happening is beyond just sort of Vin maybe being a little, bummed out about what happened or someone else being bummed out. It's beyond that. It's more about how quickly can a country decay and be polarized. You think about World War II and the Nazis and the Germans, and I went to Auschwitz. I studied in Germany for a year. I studied the entire World War II scenario and also what happened in Germany. And I could not come to grips as to how the German people and how all of these people went along with this. And I have to say, what happened to me here getting canceled opened my eyes to. I could see how that happened. This is a small microcosm. We're not killing people, but this is a similar thing. They have been convinced. They have been brainwashed. They feel that they're right, I'm wrong. I was even told if I changed my morals and I changed my values in not liking Trump, I can be their friend again.
Oh, that's awesome.
Can you imagine that? That one comment to me ultimately put me over the edge, because I just said that is probably the most hypocritical thing I've ever heard in my life. And we're only talking about opinions. These are words.
Now, quick question. How old are these?
That's a great question, because it's extraordinarily relevant here. These are not kids.
I was going to say, because what you're describing is it sounds like the lunchroom in middle school.
These are 60-year-old men that should know better, that are teaching their children things.
They're men?
These are, well,
men.
They're men. They identify as men.
All right.
They're 60 years old. These are people that have lived life. They're mature. I have a lot in common with these people. We shared some of the greatest memories in the world. At least for me, I shared some great stuff with these folks. And that's why this might be personal to me, but it's not. This is an epidemic in this country. Everybody should have an awareness of this, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. Really bad stuff can happen when manipulation and brainwashing, like we've seen, like they obviously have gotten. And I'm not, maybe I'm wrong. And I tell them that all the time. I don't know if I'm right. I don't know if I'm wrong. This is my opinion.
Yeah, but friends should accept you. I mean, we're getting like kindergarten here. You're supposed to accept everybody as friends and put everything else aside. And to tell a friend to change your morals is very.
But that is part of the point is that we should, right? That should be regular human nature. We grew up that way, and most people have done that. You forgive, you stick by your friends. Something bigger than that has happened psychologically. That's where I'm coming from.
It's getting deep.
Yes,
you're friends with mean girls, basically.
It's not just me.
You're friends with people who unfortunately who live an ideology that believe that if you're succeeding, or something, the country's succeeding, or the leader is succeeding, or the leader is doing something that's positive, it must be at the expense of somebody else. So they look at this, Vin, and they say, you're supporting someone who, because of him, our people are not succeeding, or everything is at the expense of somebody. Everybody's in a box. Everybody's in a group. So they can't just look at you as their friend. They look at you as a part of this conglomerate that is holding their acquaintances down.
Yeah, part of it. Part of the evil empire. And I've gone through in my mind over and over, like, oh, maybe they're just not good friends, and maybe this and maybe that. And I have come to the conclusion that we started this show in 2014-15. Mm-hmm. And that's when this major wave, it actually happened when Obama was in office, of information sort of manipulation. And it went in overdrive in 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, boom, on and on and on. Overdrive. And when you look at that information exploitation that happened, and it happened on the news and social media, we saw all the stuff or the social media giants were manipulating information. And then the COVID thing brought that out even bigger. But you put all that in one big bucket. And then you say, what happened to your friends? Why did they turn on you like that? And it's almost like they've been programmed. And people have been programmed. And that's my bigger point. It's not about me and my feelings and my hurt are there. It's about, wow, how is this possible with people that are smart, that you know really well? Because really bad things can happen if they use these same techniques. Case in point, what happened in Germany. You could take that leap because that's what happened.
What's crazy, though, is that they expect you to change your morals. Like they're morally superior. You're not good enough. But if you just change your morals, guess what? Now that should tell you everything you need to know about their morals.
That's everything.
That they are so interchangeable. It's kind of
the judgmental side, though.
Yeah, you might need some new friends there.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have them anymore.
I got plenty of friends, but the thing is quite disturbing. It set me off from a societal point of view, and I wanted to share that with the audience because, one, I know a lot of audience folks saw this exchange, and I also know that everybody experiences this in some way, shape, or form on social media. If you're a supporter of Trump, if you're a supporter of Biden and Obama, no one says boo. Have you defriended anybody that's on the other side?
No, I like to watch them melt down.
It's just not what we do, though. We're not judgmental like that. They may not agree. Okay.
Yeah, big whoop.
That's the disease I see happening here. And it's a disease. So that's it. That's my rant for right now.
Yeah.
All right, very good. It's a good rant, Vinny. I'm sorry you went through that, but like Delgado says, maybe you just, someone in the Sergeant Arby said, why don't you send them a box of tampons and tell them to just move on? I mean, come on. So, I mean, there's that too.
You
could feel that way. This just happened.
Just happened.
This just happened like a week ago.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's hard.
All right, let's do some sports before we wrap it up. 11 minutes past the hour. Sports is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use at MyPillow. Gives you a great savings. Slick, what's going on?
All right, Big D. Well, Linda McMahon speaks out on protecting women and girls from trans athletes during confirmation hearing. This is Biden's education secretary was a vocal advocate for allowing trans athletes to compete with girls and women. This is Jackson Thompson of Fox News. Linda McMahon made her stance clear on trans inclusion in women's and girls sports during her confirmation hearing for education secretary on Thursday. I do not believe that biological boys should be able to compete against girls in sports, and I think now that certainly not only have the people spoken, because that was something that Trump ran very heavily on, but I believe the court has spoken, McMahon said. A national exit poll conducted by the Concerned Women for America, CWA, Legislative Action Committee found that 70% of moderate voters saw the issue of Donald Trump's opposition to transgender boys and men's playing girls and women's sports and of transgender boys and men using girls and women's bathrooms as important to them, and 6% said it was the most important issue of all, while 44% said it's very important. Trump vowed during the 2024 campaign to ban trans athletes from women's sports and girls' sports. Trump made good on that promise early when he signed the No Men in Women's Sports Executive Order on February 5th. Prior to that, Supreme Court ruled in August to deny a Biden administration emergency request to enforce portions of the former president's Title IX rewrites that would allow biological males in women's sports and girls' changing rooms. And as McMahon looks to get confirmed as education secretary, she insists on carrying out the original mission of Title IX and keeping women's sports for biological females. Goes on to detail that. So, of course, Linda McMahon, she's out there looking to advocate for education. So that's good.
Awesome. By the way, Kristen, there's about 7 bodies that I cannot find in California that you might want to be looking for.
All right, 13 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We're back. More news with Delgado and more with Kristen right after this. On the socials, chat. What's going on? A lot of people, Vin, with you, saying, you know, they feel your pain, but you got to get new friends.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate that, too. I've been told that. It pains me to even think that, but...
You know, I think if you go onto like OnlyFans, you can probably get some friends.
yeah, I've got. Maybe I'll start my own channel. You know.
Oh God.
Yeah.
You know, Charlotte. This is where Rick is. Just so you know.
Charlotte Adams on Facebook says, Vin, underneath everything going on, they are afraid. Fear is motivating them to do things they would not normally do. Your friends, they stand to lose something. They know it, and there's nothing that they can do about it. So you get the brunt of it. P.S. They are not your true friends.
Charlotte has it 100% right.
Okay.
And there's fear. When people judge people, it's usually off fear. You know, when they have such strong opinions on judging someone and shutting them out.
Tweet Potato says, whose side are you on, Damon?
Yeah, Damon.
Yeah, Damon.
You're on my side, aren't you?
I'll plead the fifth on that.
He doesn't respond to your text either, does he, Vin?
I just don't get it. Like, this is not something I would do. I wouldn't, you know, I have friends who we all have different perspectives. I would never tell a friend, look, I just don't go there with some of my friends. I just don't.
Totally get it.
Right?
This is just social media
I would
stuff.
never tell a friend, I can't be friends with you because you think a certain way.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but there are people that do that to their own family.
I know.
Delgado and Slick, you might want to listen to this one. Dave Syverson on X says, Kristen, maybe you can maybe you can help Damon find his wallet so he can take his pals to the Sphere.
Right? Talk about a missing body.
Yeah.
That wallet's a missing body.
You guys didn't win the bet.
We won the bet.
Stop.
Oh my God,
You
we
know
won
we
this
did.
I don't know
bet.
what the bet is.
The bet was that Joe Biden would not be the nominee.
Okay.
And Fathead here says, no, that's not the bet. He doesn't want to admit that he
Damon,
lost.
there's a question for you.
He calls you fathead?
Yeah. Nah. He just says that lovingly.
Nothing upsets.
Did you see what he calls Delgado?
You should see what the audience says to me.
Well, Damon, if nothing upsets you, then you'll be fine with this read here. Hey, you said nothing upset you.
Yeah, you did.
Quick question while we're on social.
Some super
You know what?
chats.
Just loosen your morals. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Someone is asking, a friend is asking about Damon's opinion on Matt Gaetz becoming Trump's special counsel to go after Jack Smith, or one of those things. What do you think of him using Matt Gaetz?
Did he get named?
I always thought that was possible, that he would show up in something like that. But
you like that idea?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
I mean, he's a
there you
pit bull. That's what you need.
That's what he's saying. He should be number one.
Sound like the blues. 17 past the hour. Let me talk to you about our friends at My Patriot Supply. How well do you sleep at night? Well, real peace of mind comes from knowing your family is prepared for tough times. And that's, of course, where My Patriot Supply comes in. It's America's most trusted name in emergency preparedness, and they're offering a limited-time discount on their supersized mega 3-month emergency food kit. This isn't your typical survival food. Each kit provides over 2,500 calories daily for 90 days, with delicious meals and extras, including chicken, beef, fruits, and veggies. We're talking quality meals that can last up to 25 years in storage and still taste like home cooked. The pandemic taught us how quickly store shelves can empty. Don't wait for the next crisis. Your mega emergency food kit includes free shipping, a disaster replacement warranty, and 24/7 USA-based support. The special discounts available for this week only. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com right now, MyPatriotSupply.com now to secure your family's future with a $250 discount if you order by 3 p.m. They'll ship your order within the same day, so you have peace of mind right away. Go right now, MyPatriotSupply.com, MyPatriotSupply.com. Get your mega 3-month emergency food kit and hope that you never have to use it, but at least you'll have it and be prepared, because you never know. Living in North Carolina or California, you never know when that's going to come in handy. So, MyPatriotSupply.com, 3-month mega emergency food kit available now, $250 discount. Take advantage. All right, 18 past the hour, live from Studio 6B.
That's an amazing product. I have to say.
It's a great idea.
To have fresh food like that, last that long, to have as for an emergency?
I stocked up. Did you stock up during COVID?
Oh, yeah.
Just toilet paper.
I went a little cuckoo when everybody else was. Well, I waited till the toilet. I don't know when it was during the toilet paper thing or whatever, but I just remember I need to buy beans. I don't know. I just have beans. I'm going to put them downstairs.
Put the ceiling fan on.
Baby beans. Pinto beans.
I did all that. I still got. I'm still going through. I still have toilet paper. I haven't bought toilet paper yet.
You have it from 5 years ago?
Yeah. 3 years ago. Yeah.
Wait, you're not serious.
Paper towel and
Is he serious?
And toilet paper.
Explains
Totally
a lot.
serious.
I mean, you
He's
just never
I don't know. I don't know.
Welcome to the
No, I'm
welcome
totally
to the
serious.
circus.
No, I think he's actually being serious.
I know.
I went nuts.
How many did you buy?
I
When you
bought
went?
a lot. I bought a lot.
Yeah.
That you haven't bought it now in 5 years?
You know what? I'm down to
Just
3.
goes to show you he's full of you know what.
He's really serious. I can be very gullible.
I'm down
From investigative journals, I can be very gullible.
I'm down to 3 on the big
pallets?
Costco 30 packs.
Yeah.
So I'm down to 3. So I'm going to start buying again.
Wow.
Well, you're very regular, aren't you?
Yeah. I was going to say,
Between that
coffee
and
goes
paper
right through you,
towel.
huh, there, pal?
And I've got I got enough peanut butter and ketchup because they come in 3 packs. You can just get a couple 3 packs, throw them in there. You never run out.
Yeah.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
20 minutes past the hour. You learn something every day on this show. I mean, I don't know.
Something else.
I'm ready.
This is
Ready.
where this is where 5 Emmys ends you on talking about Costco toilet paper and peanut butter and jelly.
This is why he doesn't have 5 Emmys.
Exactly.
You have a negative 5 Emmys.
You don't even have Slammies.
I also got the double boxes of
Jammies.
Cheerios, the butternut Cheerios, the honey nut Cheerios, the regular Cheerios, the Frosted Flakes.
He's a flaker.
All dried cereals because dried cereals last.
Well, how do you look like you look, though, if you have all that in your house?
Because I don't eat it.
It's there.
That's why he has
It's
it.
there for an
It's
emergency.
there for an emergency.
Exactly.
Apparently, you don't go to the bathroom either. You should put the towels in toilet paper.
All right, Delgado, do you want to do some news, or do you want to just keep telling us about your Costco shopping list?
I just want to play one clip for Vin, and then I want to throw us back to
it's not a
Kristen.
voice recording of his friend's meeting.
I want to throw us back to Kristen because we have some of those investigative, those big cases in New York.
Yes, I know you have a lot of questions.
So let's play this for Vin real quick. Talking about your situation, I think Clay Travis kind of hits it on the head when it comes to Democrats. Here's cut number 5.
I hope this has a beep in it.
Cut number 5.
Well, thank you.
Here he is talking to people at the University of Chicago. Tells the audience what Dems really are. Cut 5.
What is it that we're missing about, or what is it that people who are not, as Magdalene said, people who don't understand why? That's my first question. I have a second one, but go ahead.
Okay, so what I would start with is men aspire to be bigger, stronger, and faster than we are, almost universally. That's why superheroes are popular. That's why pro athletes are popular. Who is the most masculine Democrat right now in America? Mayor Pete.
Is that a gay joke?
No, Mayor Pete. No, it's just that he's not particularly masculine. Nobody's like, oh, Mayor Pete, he's a badass. Chuck Schumer? Is anybody like, hey, Chuck Schumer holding up an avocado and a beer to talk about the Super Bowl? Is anybody like that trying to grill? Is anybody like, hey, that's a dude I want to hang out with?
But Trump's like a grandpa.
Well, hold on.
He's being canceled as we speak.
Look at the fight.
Trump took a bullet in his ear and immediately stood up and said, fight, fight, fight. Every man in America and most of the women out here were impressed by that, even if the women won't admit it. She's shaking her head strong. And second part of this, basically summing it up,
here we go.
Democrats for men are and Republicans
Democrats for men
are. There are no masculine men in the Democrat Party right now.
Yeah, so there you have it, Vin. That's probably the answer to your question.
It has been solved.
About how
I'm
you
feeling better already.
Being canceled. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Mic drop.
So,
My Tim Waltz clap.
there you have it.
That's it.
Now,
I don't know. Does he have a point? I think he has a point.
I think he's got a huge point.
I mean, there are some what we would consider masculine men in the Democratic Party.
Okay,
They're just not in front of the cameras.
But name one.
Well, what about the governor of Maryland? He's a pretty hunky dude.
Oh,
who's he?
Chris Murphy.
No, Chris Murphy. Chris Murphy. Me and Chris Murphy went to high school together, and we're just embarrassed. I'm just embarrassed by it.
Uh-oh.
No, the guy from Maryland, the black guy who's the governor there. Isn't he the governor, I think?
idea.
He's...
Wes Moore.
Yeah.
There you
Wes
go.
Moore. There you go.
But I bet you most of those people don't even know that.
I agree. I said they're not in front of the camera, but I can think of a couple. But I get to Clay's point.
Yeah. When you've got Tim Walz.
Yeah, that's why Tim Walz and Kamala Harris polled like skim milk.
And metrosexual Gavin Newsom, he's not very masculine.
His point, though,
you're not thinking you want to go and have a beer with that guy and chop wood and go kill wild game to sustain your own life.
That none of them, no matter what side of the aisle they're on, would have gotten shot in the ear and gotten up and done what Trump did. None of them. And that's not just masculinity. That's just leadership. That's a guy who you can see doesn't have a personal interest. He has an interest about you and me. When someone gets up after getting shot, who should easily be cowering and trying to go to safety, who's getting up and saying, no, let's fight. I'm the leader here, leading you. I care about you. That's what all that said to me. That's the masculinity that I think we see in the Republican Party.
Well, the DNC just elected David Hogg as their vice chairman, right?
There's another one.
Point taken, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
David Hogg, clean up on aisle 4, please, David Hogg.
So, Kristen, I'm sure you've been, well, we don't have a ton of time here. What do you think about this Rex Heuermann case? The pizza box.
Sexy Rexy. What?
Why do you? Is that a name you've given him?
we call him that.
Oh, okay.
That's just a nickname you came up with.
It's a nickname,
yeah.
Did Howard Stern really say that clip of Stern talking about this, saying, "Oh, they're going to find this guy. And it's going to end up being some guy from." Did you ever hear this clip?
Yeah, I heard that.
Of Stern. Is that made up?
I think it's real.
I'm sure it's real.
You think he literally said?
Well, look.
This is like a year before they actually caught the guy.
Let me tell you, many years ago, Suffolk police had released a profile of who they thought the suspect was. And the profile was a white, middle-aged male, well-educated, with previous or current law enforcement. That's the only part that doesn't fit. But everything else is spot on. So, I think everybody kind of suspected it was going to be somebody who was kind of living among us.
Yeah. And I think they also nailed the area he came from, right?
Yeah.
Massapequa area. Yep. Which Massapequa's got a lot of screwed up people in it.
Yeah, we know
Holy
that.
moly.
Where are you from, Doga? All right, well, 26 past the hour.
Massapequa.
We'll do a little more news when we get back right after this. Let me keep promo on that.
I
know. What platform do you prefer? We'll give all of them.
It doesn't matter. I'm everywhere.
Is it all at Kristen Thorne? Is it just your
Kristen
name?
Thorne. Yep.
Make sure you follow Kristen on social media, everybody. At Kristen Thorne, Thorne.
Yes.
Oh, there's an E at the end.
There is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, because Thorne.
Yeah,
Thorne is spelled without an E when it's a part of a
Thorne,
plant.
Well,
yes,
it's
yes.
a European spelling.
Your Kristen is Kristin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I messed up.
Yeah, it's Kristen.
There you go.
Kristen with an I.
Hey, Child of the King with a
Perfect.
super chat.
That's it. You got it.
At Kristen
Super chat.
Thorne.
That's super
Follow
chat
Kristen
time.
on all her socials.
I was telling you when one of the Emmys, my first Emmy I got, they spelled it Kristen, and I had to return the band and get a new one. And come on, this is like journalism here. How did you spell my name wrong? And I told them how to spell my name.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got it dealt with.
Child of the King, $17 super chat. Man, oh man, we really are family now, says Child of the King. Delgado has shared the TP routine. Hey, I have to. And Vinny chats, love you, brother. We won't cancel you. Kristen, look at Damon's trunk for missing bodies, including Paul. We love you guys.
I have no bodies in my trunk. Paul has been let out.
He had Paul in there for about a year and a half.
He's back on the show.
Harry's the one I can't vouch for.
Harry's not in there yet.
Harry's not feeling well today. You know that little
No, I
disease
did not.
going
Flu's
around.
going around.
Oh, really?
I was sick for 10 days, man.
Was it flu?
Yeah, it was like a fever, backaches. My hairpiece was on sideways. It was a bad scene.
It was a mess.
It's a bad scene.
Got a $2 super chat from
Facebook
LSU
fever.
Patriot.
Facebook
LSU
fever.
Patriot.
Yes.
LSU Patriot.
You want me to read this one? It says here, Michelle Obama equals most masculine man in the Democratic Party.
I did not know that.
Yeah. There you go.
That's just
What?
no.
What? He's just reading.
I'm just reading.
Just reading.
That's not my opinion.
You're not making them up.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not about
say that.
I'm not about to cancel anyone because of their opinion. I'm not one of Vin's friends.
Yeah. Don't hang out.
Yeah, Cory Booker. I was going to say that. I'm looking up the 10 hot politicians.
Oh, thank you.
Who make us
Oh,
want
you
to
mean
pay
someone else.
attention to the news again.
Cory Booker should not be on there. Cory Booker looks like he got stung by a colony of bees lately. I mean, he looks like he's either been hanging out at McDonald's too much or
We
something.
do have Gavin Newsom on here.
Oh, of course. Slick Willie's
Slick.
got to be on there, yeah.
Gavin's a good-looking guy. That's
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
he'd be a good-looking
he's a
girl,
good-looking
too.
guy.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Thursday night. Real America's Voice and across the airways of 103.9 LI News Radio. Glad you're in, everybody. Kristen Thorne's joining us tonight. 5-time Emmy investigative journalist winner. We'll have more with her.
Yep, thank you.
Delgado's got lots of questions about big things going on, people missing.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. Delgado's going to do some news. Slick will do some more sports. Vinnie Mac might have some more thoughts. But please, right now, welcome to the show the director of Epigenics over at the Wellness Company, and that's Dr. Ben Tapper. Welcome back to the show. Dr. Tapper, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Very good. Always good to have you on the show. Thanks for giving us a few moments on a day that really is a historic day. RFK Jr. gets not only confirmed but sworn in today. So I guess let me just first start there. Not a single Democrat ended up voting for him. This is somebody who the Democrats, when they were in charge of some of these committees early on in RFK Jr.'s career, they used to call him in front of these committees and have him as an expert testimony. They used to say how special he was, how great he was, obviously the family, the history of the Democrat Party. Not one single Democrat now votes for him, including Sheldon Whitehouse, who was in his wedding party, who claims now he's a big threat to the country, a threat to everything. Give me your thoughts on seeing RFK go in today. What does it mean?
Well, I think it's a big day today. We are really witnessing history, and especially going back to the Democrats not voting for RFK Jr. They're terrified of him, and really it's apparent who they work for. And it's not the American people here. They are terrified. They're in bed with Big Pharma, and really, their true colors are showing right now. Because if you look at Elizabeth Warren calling Bobby out and terrified of him suing the vaccine manufacturers for crying out loud, I mean, she has taken a lot of money from Big Pharma, and so these people are really terrified of the transparency coming to the forefront. And that's what Bobby Kennedy is coming. And really, his whole campaign's been on transparency. And I'm excited, and I'm very thankful he got in. It was a close call there. But again, I'm not surprised by the Democrats not voting for him.
One of our co-hosts on the show here, Paul Nolan, says that all these Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders types, they should have to wear a jacket, kind of like a NASCAR driver, with all the patches of all their money and sponsorships that they've taken from all these places. So, RFK Jr. said in the Oval Office with President Trump, he said, my uncle, the former president in the 60s, JFK, started USAID, and he started it with good intentions, and obviously it's just turned into a disaster that most of America probably didn't even know what it was up until the last couple weeks. And now you see President Trump and what DOJ is unveiling at USAID. Give me your thoughts on USAID. Is shutting it down a good idea for global health?
Well, if you look at the amount of pharmaceutical lobbyists in the government right now, they outnumber the tobacco and oil 3-1. And so big pharma is in bed with their government, and they perverted the USAID. And I think it used to be maybe a good thing at one time. Just like the Vaccine and Injury Compensation Act of '86, there was a court system for vaccine injury, but it's been perverted, and it's been, it's not a good thing now. It's been not really, it's turned into, this morphed into this monster of a machine. I mean, look at USAID, and the $2 million that was sent to Guatemala for gender-affirming health care. I mean, I didn't sign up for that, let my tax dollars go to that. I mean, so I stand with Ron Paul. I mean, we need to audit the USAID and then abolish it. And so going back to, is this good for global healthcare? Absolutely. I mean, gender-affirming healthcare is an oxymoron. It has nothing to do with true health. I mean, most of that care is really putting, these chemically castrating these teenagers or these people that want to so-called have a gender-affirming healthcare, and really has no place in a true healthcare model. And so the USAID needs to be audited, needs to be abolished, and we need to get back to the roots of true healthcare. And that's where I think Bobby is really going after. He's going after the chronic disease, and he understands that the only way we do that is really tackle and promote lifestyle type care. And that's where the model is moving.
Yeah. We're speaking with Dr. Ben Tapper from the Wellness Company. Of course, you can go to twc.health/voice, twc.health/voice. Of all the things going on, you see Bobby going in, you see everything that's going on with Elon and the fraud they're trying to unravel and bring to the American people's attention. One of the things that I hope doesn't get lost in the shuffle, and I do feel like people have already kind of, not forgotten, but they kind of say, well, do we really want to go backwards? And that, of course, is not only the origins of COVID, but the response to COVID, the people who were in charge of COVID at the time. What would you like to see done as far as holding people responsible during COVID who are making just absolutely horrific decisions for that disastrous response?
Well, we need to let doctors be doctors first and foremost. I mean, during COVID, the doctors' hands were tied. They were pushing top-down protocols like Fauci that was pushing from these administrative doctors, and they were tying their hands, and they were heavily scrutinized if they were prescribing ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine or other drugs that were helping. So, what I would like to see is I stand for medical freedom. We need to let the doctors be doctors and not interfere with the doctor-patient relationship, and that's what we saw during COVID. Big government was trying to get in that and interfere with that relationship, and it was causing problems. And if you look at the protocols during COVID, the protocols were causing harm. The drugs like remdesivir, I would say it wasn't necessarily COVID that was killing people. It was the remdesivir and the protocols that were being pushed. And so there needs to be an investigation into those protocols. And if we ever have another pandemic again, we cannot trust the government when it comes to these pandemics. We need to trust our doctors, and really we need to trust the good doctors that are unafraid to speak the truth and go against the grain here, because we know that, again, there was a lot of corruption around the protocols that were pushed, and we need to look at every avenue available that's helping these people. And so, God forbid, if we're ever in a pandemic again, I mean, the government was saying there's nothing you can do naturally to fight this. Just wait till the vaccine comes around. I mean, I never took the vaccine. I didn't promote the vaccine. And so, I think that if we do get sick, we need to trust the body's ability to be well and to heal itself and give the body what it needs, and we can be well and not fear disease. I mean, I was taught that fear is the fire that fuels the furnace of disease. And so we shouldn't let the media push the fear-mongering campaigns like they did to scare people half to death. I mean, that's why I was saying this whole thing was psychological warfare. And so in the case of a pandemic, we should really refrain from the media and really discourage the media from pushing the fear button and scaring people, but also trusting our doctors.
Yeah. Finally, let me ask you, with RFK now in, obviously a lot of changes. We see Dr. McCary in, and all of the changes in the heads of these departments. How long should it take, or should the American people feel more confident in trusting the government when it comes to healthcare and what's going on? And should we be encouraging people to stock up on critical medications? Give me your thoughts on that finally.
Well, I think it's important to be prepared. I mean, Benjamin Franklin said an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So we need to be prepared. I think, having, preparations in that regard is absolutely essential, but also valuing our health now before we get sick. We need to be proactive. Our level of health is a continuum. We either are moving towards health and wellness or sickness and disease, and the choice is yours. So it's a continuum. And so really we need to make healthy choices. But again, I don't trust the government when it comes to our health. And I believe Thomas Jefferson said it best. He said, if the people let the government decide what foods they eat, what medicines they take, their bodies will soon be in a sorry state as those souls who live under tyranny. So we can't trust the government when it comes to our health. We need to take action now and take our health into our own hands and really make good choices. And that's what it's all about.
You can visit the Wellness Company, twc.health/voice, twc.health/voice. Take control of your health. Be prepared. You can do all that. Dr. Tapper, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. God bless.
Dr. Ben Tapper from the Wellness Company. Again, you can go to twc.health/voice.
Wow. Did he nail it or what?
Yeah, wow.
I mean, he had
That's some history there. No, it was great.
He was fantastic, and his point about COVID reminded me of all this stuff we were talking about before with the cancellation and all that, or the brainwashing. That was, if you think back on what they did with COVID and how they convinced so many people of so many things in such a short period of time, and what he was bringing out of that just got me thinking about it. It's like that was a condensed version
well, it was
of what we've been seeing with derangement syndrome.
It was cancellation, too, because if you didn't believe what Fauci and the medical establishment were saying, you got to get shots, you got to stay 6 feet apart, then you were canceled. You weren't allowed to say it.
You were canceled. Very, very much so.
Sorry, Vin. Sorry, yeah. I had to mention that.
Don't bring up the word cancel with Vin tonight, please. So, Delgado, Kristen's here. Of course, yes. Kristen Thorne, investigative journalist, and she's investigated a lot of crime, missing persons. Of course, her show Missing. It's on Hulu for 3 seasons, and obviously she was at ABC here in New York for a long time. Delgado has lots of questions here.
Oh, my goodness.
Go ahead, Rick. I'll turn it over to you.
Well, there was a big case that we covered a couple weeks ago when the Long Island dad found his daughter. You said it yourself, it's incumbent on the family to keep up the search because that's who's really going to do probably the most work.
Yes. The families are going to do the most work. Right. Actually, 95% of it.
Right. And this guy, this father, let me get his name for you, the dad, Frank Gervasi, found his daughter Emma Ray on a boat. based on a tip, and he'd been looking for her. I guess she got abducted, went missing right around Christmas. He found her about a month later.
This is just a horrible story, what this young girl has been put through. And they've made a number of arrests. I think they're up to 14 now.
Yeah, they're up to 14 arrests. It started with the one guy that the dad beat up on the boat when he caught him.
Yeah.
And then now, I guess they've uncovered what, a sex ring?
Yes, a sex drug ring. This poor girl, according to prosecutors, had been drugged, raped, fed crack cocaine. The defendants are saying they didn't know how old she was and that she was a willing participant. That is what one of the attorneys said.
Hence the use of crack.
This is a message also to parents. Do you know how this started? Social media.
Right.
They reached out to her on social media. This is the dangers of children being on social media, either having full access to it. That's how it started. That's how they find, and I've done stories on this exact issue. One of my missing victims had been on social media, had been contacted on social media. What these criminals do, and these sick individuals, is they look for young girls who appear to be unhappy. If they are unhappy on social media and saying how much, and this is not coming from me, this is from experts who told me this is how it works. Yeah. They look for girls that, I hate my parents, I hate my life, I hate my family. And then they start posting that they're doing drugs, they're drinking, they're partying. They are looking for these girls.
Yeah.
And if you think it isn't happening, it is. I just did an interview with the FBI not 4 months ago. This is one of their biggest concerns right now, is individuals who are out there targeting young people, who are looking for them, who are looking to manipulate them, get control of them. And they said, this was one of the sound bites from the FBI in Newark, who is now the head of the FBI in New York City. If you don't think that your child has been targeted or will be targeted, you are wrong. Every child at some point will be targeted on social media.
Wow.
It's an open field, like you said. Like in the past, they were stalking sort of in playgrounds or whatever, face-to-face or runaways. Now it's an open field of vulnerability.
Yep. And that's why parents have to be you have to be checking your child's platforms. What are they doing? By the way, most of you pay for the phone and the service. So you have a right to go in. I know, I'm sure my kids are listening to this and are probably horrified because they hear about this all the time. Mom. But go in, look at what they're doing, look at their chats. By the way, if you think your kid doesn't have Instagram or these social media, they hide it in the Note app. That was something I learned. So you need to open up, if you hover over the Note app, sometimes they'll hide the app in there. So you should be looking at the messages, looking at who they're talking to, and you have a right to. This is your child.
Absolutely. All right, 17 till the hour, live from Studio 6B. We'll wrap it up for a Thursday when we get back right after this. Chat. What's going on? Julian Martinez says, good guitar sound for the break on Facebook.
Francis is picking some real rock and roll tonight, man.
He always does. Diane Fallon on Facebook. Great show tonight, boys. Thank you. Critical Clay 03 on YouTube. Being in this chat helps me deal with my wife's radiation treatments and keeps me sane. So thanks to all. Oh, well,
yeah,
hope
God
she's...
bless.
Yes.
That's a tough situation.
One of the social... He tried that.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. That was last.
Tweet Potato, great show, Damon, on X. Thank you very much. Howdy, Big D. Hello, Tim on Facebook. Christy on YouTube. What's going on? Yo, Damon, what's up? How's your son's basketball? Farmer Brook Playoffs start February 27th. I think is a Thursday night. That's game number 1, and then we'll have. If we win that, we move on to the semifinals. Then we move on to the county championship if we win that. So we're 2 games away from the county championship game.
And it's starting 2 weeks?
27th, yeah.
It's like a long time.
Well, we have a bye, so it really starts the 20th.
What position does he play?
He plays the 4, shooting forward. Yeah.
Yeah, I played the 4. Played the 3.
Played the field.
The 2 and the 1.
I played the 5 Emmy. I mean, don't know. I played the 2.
You're definitely jealous of her 5 minutes.
Oh my God, yes. Are you kidding?
I'll bring one.
They'll probably be railing on this on Facebook tomorrow.
I got a feta cheese.
I guarantee Vin comes in and says, I'm not friends with Kristen anymore. Because of something. Guaranteed in a week. Watch.
That won't happen.
That's impossible.
Impossible.
It's impossible, Damon. You don't understand the depth of what's going on over
Exactly.
here. Exactly. Come on, when you're in a boxing ring with someone, you feel it.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. Oh, man. That's
Slick Rick, we missed you, someone said on X tonight.
Oh.
We're going to do sports right now.
You don't like the term?
Everybody likes
I haven't heard that one yet, though.
It's kind of
That's
terrible. Answer to everything.
He's a
Red light
mess.
therapy.
Did you hear that?
You know, it's super popular. I do it.
Where?
Yeah, so there's a lot of
Just in
suspicions
general.
about
Like
it. It hasn't been
Achilles,
confirmed,
put it
but
on.
there's a lot of suspicions about
I have a bad Achilles.
Like, where do they have it, though? Where do you do it?
Yes, having to put the tape up and the...
Oh, what is it?
It's a little box.
And you've got the door.
Plug it in. Put it wherever. Like your back. Put it in, lie on it.
Really?
Yeah, it gets the blood flowing, blood cells.
Bring it next time.
13 till the hour. Live from Studio 6B on a Thursday night. Somebody in the chat had a funny comment and said, Slick keeps all of it and Vinny keeps his...
I want to thank the Academy for this.
Next time Kristen's on, she's going to bring her Emmy and put that in front of her. And Slick, your Dallas Cowboys football helmet will look a little silly.
There's no prayer winning an Emmy on this show.
What's
You're not winning an Emmy on this show.
Well, neither are you, by the way. Yeah, you never know. Exactly,
You could do
Slick.
some good investigative work here.
Those are actual replicas of Rick's shoes. Look at his shoes.
Are you serious?
Yeah, look at his shoes.
Do you have them on right now?
Not those.
Those are a replica of something else he wears.
Yep.
There's
There's
their
actual size. His foot fits in there.
It's so cute.
Look at those tonight. They're pretty good. Well, you'll see them in the end. That's our thing.
leopard.
So, let's do some sports. Speaking of the Slickster, sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use if you shop at MyPillow. It'll give you a great savings. Like I said, I saw someone who bought a queen-size mattress. I think it got 50% off using code LFS6B.
Awesome.
They sponsor sports. Slick's got it. What's going on, Slick?
All right, Big D. One more sweep of the scoreboard before the night is through here. We got NCAA men's basketball right now. Number 25, Maryland leading Nebraska 46-41. 16 to go there in the second half. With 2 minutes to go in the first, Southern Florida trails Memphis 35-24. San Francisco and Gonzaga, 11 p.m. tip out west. NHL, good one there. We got the four nations face-off. Finland and USA tied at 1 with 5 minutes to go in the second period. Definitely want to check that out. And NBA action, we got the Warriors 82-66 over the Rockets. Minute to go there in the third. Also in the third, 4 minutes to go. Kings over the Pelicans 83-80. And at the half, the Heat lead the Mavs 56-55. And let's get to, I got one good story here. Oh, you know this guy. We love him. NASCAR's Bubba Wallace couldn't care less if President Trump attends Daytona 500. One of Todd Houston, a Breitbart. Unbelievable.
Here we go.
Outspoken left-wing NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace says he couldn't care less if Donald Trump attends this year's Daytona 500 on February 16th. The president has hinted that he might attend this year's race, where Wallace will be driving the McDonald's car for Michael Jordan's NASCAR team 23XY Racing, Fox News reported. Wallace and Trump had a very public feud back in 2020. 2020 after Wallace campaigned to force NASCAR to ban Confederate flags and called Trump a racist during the height of the left's George Floyd obsession. Remember those days? The good old days.
Oh, boy.
Wallace received ridicule.
Bubba's used to only going left, so what can you do?
That's for sure. Yeah, Wallace received ridicule after he claimed he saw a noose in a NASCAR garage. Remember that one, too? That turned out to be only a rope to pull down the garage door. However, with Trump's possible attendance at the Daytona 500 this year, Wallace is trying to avoid the controversy. We are here to race, not for the show, Wallace said. The controversial driver has put his liberal politics on the back burner over the last year and has stopped spouting about politics in his public statements and on his social media accounts. Probably a smart move for old Bubba. But yeah, President Trump might go to NASCAR big day. That'd be pretty cool, too.
I believe it's 100% he is going to be there. It's not even up for a debate.
Especially after Bubba Wallace's comments. I'm sure he'll be there. And that's a wrap in sports. Back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. Vinnie Mac, anything else on your mind?
Yeah, I've got two things. First, did you guys see this Mark Fogel thing?
Yep.
What an amazing moment. What an amazing moment. You know, he meets his mother and at one of the events and just, can you help get my son out? He says, if I get elected, I will. But the moment was just so touching with him in the Oval Office and how this guy felt. And he had the American flag wrapped around his neck and just you can just feel, so much emotion from him. I was just so proud.
The interesting part was he said when he spoke to him, he said, they treated me a certain way for almost 3.5 years. He said right around January 20th, he said all of a sudden they came and gave me a haircut, made me look better, gave me better food.
Yep.
And he thought to himself, well, something's going on because I've been here for 3.5 years. And all of a sudden in 2 seconds after the stroke of midnight on January 20th, they started treating me different. I wonder what happened. Well,
yeah.
They knew what was happening.
Yeah,
they knew playtime was over.
It was just amazing, and it's amazing that President Trump can do what he does. I mean, he just cuts through all the nonsense and gets things done. But one of the things that's really on my mind is, for years, we've been hearing about sanctuary cities, and anyone with any kind of logic or common sense understands the fact that there's a manipulation of information going on, because sanctuary cities aren't sanctuary cities. They're places that criminals or people here illegally can hide. It's essentially it. You don't want people to feel neglected or any of this kind of thing. But these sanctuary cities are hiding some really bad people, and they're hiding people who came here illegally. And Pam Bondi has finally stepped up, and she's taking these states to task one by one. And the outrage that surrounds this is really what's got me geeked up, because the entire matter is based on an illegal activity. It'd be one thing if the sanctuary city protected, people came here legally because they needed some help in some way, right? We all could feel some compassion to that. And I feel compassion for the people who are here illegally. I mean, they got, these coyotes, they came through, but they're here illegally. They shouldn't be, hidden and held in these sanctuary cities. So we have an attorney general finally that has stepped up. And the ramifications of that are quite interesting. What's happening in New York, what she's doing, she's suing the governor, she's suing a few other folks to unwind these sanctuary cities, and they're having fits upon fits upon fits. But if we're going to reset this country to a baseline of rule of law, you can't, at one side of your mouth, say, we're gonna help people who are here illegally who've broken the law, and the other side say, you can't do this because we need to help people here who have broken the law. It's just a contradiction, a hypocritical thing. But this, to me, is not just a major move by Pam Bondi, but it's a major move for the reset of the entire country. Because this is a very visible thing right now, considering the 20 million people or so that came here illegally, and not only the criminals that are there, but for the entire movement that Trump has put in place. Everything is a reset. And for Pam Bondi to take this action this quickly says a lot to me about how she is going to reset the entire legal system in this country. And I thought it was worth noting because she's doing us proud.
Yeah, we'll see. I think she's going to have some battles, and we'll see where else she goes after New York. She started there, and it's probably a good place to start. So we'll see. Kristen, before we wrap, number one, everybody has loved you being here. The comments I'm getting on X and other social media. Make sure you follow Kristen on social media at Kristen Thorne, pretty much everywhere. So check her out on all her socials. So give us, before we go, what happens next with your current story you're working on, and what else are you working on in the future?
Well, I'm continuing to dig on this insurance fraud issue, and the reason is I know it's kind of hard for people to understand, but this fraud is affecting all of us. And if it's allowed to continue, it's going to get to a point where our rent, our homeowners insurance, the ability to make affordable housing in this state and across this country, we're going to lose all of that. Our auto insurance rates, you wonder why they keep going up. It's rampant fraud. And that's why I'm passionate about it. So usually I take on investigations that you really see the impact kind of right away. This is the first investigation I've done that's a very complex, high level, but I'm hoping that bringing attention to this issue will get New York State to change some of these laws that we have. Do I have time to explain one of these that is crazy?
You can do it in a minute.
I can. New York State is the only state in the country that has a law that makes a construction company 100% liable if a worker falls on their job site. We are the only state, meaning if the worker, let's say, is, God forbid, intoxicated or doesn't use the safety protocols that he or she has been trained on and has an accident, it doesn't matter under New York State law. The contractor is 100% liable. And we are the only state with this law. It dates back to 1885. It's colloquially known as the scaffold law. And Illinois got rid of something similar in the 90s, and we're the only ones left with it. And it's political. That's why it's still around.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Follow Kristen on social media. We'll try to get updates, and we'll have her back, of course. Whenever she wants to come, she's welcome. It's been a great night. As always, we want to salute all our military, active and inactive, police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, all emergency personnel, all our truckers, all our farmers, everybody that keeps the country moving and safe. Thanks, everybody on the show. Kristen, thank you so much. Aaron, Frank, great job as always. But most of all, thank you to Live from Studio 6B audience. We'll see you tomorrow night to wrap up the week on a Friday night, 8 p.m. There they are, right here.
Nice. Look at those.
Live from Studio 6B.
Oh, my God.